Huh? Such a shabby meal for holidays. How poor can you get? Upon returning to our home for the holiday, my eldest son's wife, like a rebellious child, complained about the meal I had prepared. I thought she relied on me like her own parent, but to be repaid with such harsh treatment. I've reached my limit. My name is Tara, 62 years old. My only son, Ben, has become independent and I live peacefully with my husband. Recently, I've been attending a cultural center, learning sewing as a hobby. I look forward to lunches and cafe visits with friends I've met there and am heading there again today. I'm going fishing with some buddies. I'll pick you up if we finish early, so give me a call, my husband says as I get ready to leave. I can get back on my own, you go enjoy your fishing. It'd be trouble if something happened. I'll pick you up, make sure to call, all right? My husband might be a bit overprotective, but he's truly kind to me. He always insists on driving me, even for distances I could manage alone. No matter what happens, I know he'll always be there, loving and protecting me. With that reassurance, I enjoy my calm days, immersed in my hobby. Then one day, I get an email from my son. I'm getting married to my girlfriend. Can we come over this Saturday to introduce her? He's 30, working in sales at a major communications company. Recently, he's been too busy for anything but a brief visit during New Year's, and we've hardly spoken. His sudden marriage news surprises me, and I quickly discuss it with my husband. Great! He's finally getting married. I was worried he had no girlfriend at his age. We'd love to meet her. My husband is genuinely happy, but I'm a bit worried. My son, like his father, is approachable and calm. But his overly tolerant nature is his only flaw. Even in elementary school, he wouldn't mind if friends didn't return his last pencil. This meant we were always running out of pencils and erasers. He's too generous. I hope he can speak his mind clearly, I thought, as the day of their meeting approached. His girlfriend, tall like a model, was stunningly beautiful and elegant. This is Lily, my son introduced her. Her demeanor was like that of an actress, captivating me. I'm Tara, his mother. Please, come in. Despite my greeting, her response was non-existent. She's so tall and beautiful. Where did you meet? At a mixer a coworker set up. She's a waitress at a restaurant. I visited her at work a few times, and her hardworking and lovely nature caught my eye. You're really smitten with her. Reminds me of how I felt about your mom when I was young. The initial meeting was lively with just the three of us. She seemed tense or perhaps overly cautious, not joining in our conversation. I tried to engage her actively. What did you like about my son? Nothing in particular, she replied simply. Coffee or tea? Juice would be better, her childlike voice answered. After she left, I asked my son, is she always like that? Not much of a talker, or rather, reserved or distant. Yeah, she's always like that, my son replied. I don't mean to speak ill, but I was a bit concerned that she didn't greet us or use polite language. Hearing this, my son passionately explained, actually, her parents had her when they were in high school. They married right after graduating but divorced soon due to constant fights. I want to support her, given the tough circumstances she grew up in. Such a background. Well, it's up to you to make her happy now. Do your best. I decided to warmly support my son and his wife's new journey. However, after the wedding, my daughter-in-law started calling my smartphone frequently. I'm out shopping, but feeling faint from anemia. Can you pick me up? Are you okay? Where are you? At the supermarket near the station. I'm sitting on a bench, waiting for you. She would make requests in an overly familiar tone, as if a real daughter to her mother. At first, I was happy to be relied upon like a real mother, but constant calls for trivial matters soon became bothersome. The groceries I bought at the supermarket are too heavy. I accidentally booked the wrong beauty salon. Can you drive me to the next town? It's pouring, I can't bike home. Can you pick me up? Such calls came incessantly. When I was at the cultural center, my husband, who sometimes works as a security guard, would help, but he wasn't always available. When I suggested she use a taxi, she replied, if you pay the fare, I will. I was clearly being treated like a handywoman. Her upbringing seemed to have twisted her personality significantly. I wondered why my son married such a woman. Amidst these doubts and worries, my son visited alone one day. I asked him bluntly, "Why is Lily so selfish? She's beautiful, sure, but that character must be hard to live with." My son, a bit downcast, began to reveal the story behind their marriage. He was smitten by her beauty and asked her out, but it wasn't straightforward. She demanded complete compliance as a condition for dating, and he agreed to everything. "That's why she's so spoiled." I regretted raising my son to be too kind and accommodating. One holiday, they informed us they would visit, and I prepared dinner. But my daughter-in-law, seeing the food, sneered, "Huh? Fried chicken and omelet? It's not a kid's picnic. Serve something decent like steak. How poor can you be?" "Sorry, I should have told Mom your favorites," my son apologized, kowtowing. She was bossing him around, taking advantage of his good nature. She smugly accepted his subservient attitude, demanding, "Oh, I don't like vegetable either. Order some beef, and do it now." As I was about to raise my voice, my husband stood up, his voice shaking with anger. "This is the last time we meet. Consider this your last supper. Eat whatever you want." I'd never seen my usually gentle husband this furious. At his outburst, my son and his wife were stunned. "What do you mean by last?" "Exactly what I said. Your mom planned this menu long ago, making your favorite fried chicken, omelet, roast beef, and even cake. And you dare to call it lousy and treat us like poor folks. We're cutting ties with you." My husband had reached his limit, deciding to sever ties. "What? If there's roast beef and cake, bring them out first. It's your fault for hiding them. Don't get mad at us." My daughter-in-law fearlessly confronted my husband. If he had reached his limit, so had I, time to confront this wicked daughter-in-law head-on. "Sorry, we don't have your favorites ready. Any requests?" "I already told you. Steak. With roast beef and prosciutto. Also, agillo and acqua pazza." Unfazed by my husband's anger, she continued to make demands. "We don't have olive oil for agillo, but we do have sea bream and clams, so the ingredients for acqua pazza are ready. I'll leave the rest to you." I quickly took out ingredients from the fridge and handed the pot to my daughter-in-law. "Me? You want me to cook?" She stood frozen, holding the pot. "It seems my cooking doesn't suit your taste, so let's see your skills as a housewife." I decided to hand over the entire cooking task to her. "Great idea. You called my wife's cooking lousy and called us poor, so your cooking must be delicious." My husband supported me. "No, wait. I'm a guest, right?" I sternly told my evasive daughter-in-law, "No excuses, just do it." Terrified by my furious look, she shakily put the pot on the stove. "Don't burn it empty. First, clean the clams and remove the tomato stems." She resignedly began tapping the clams with a fork. "Isn't clam cleaning soaking them in salt water, not tapping them?" My son watched his wife's cooking in disbelief. "I didn't know that. Making me do this, you're really a demon mother-in-law." Cornered, she angrily threw the fork, and then laughter erupted from behind. "Mocking someone's cooking, yet you can't even clean clams? No thank you, or let's eat. No basic manners at all." The voice belonged to my sister, who had come for holidays. I once taught cooking at a cultural center, and she's still a manners instructor. I was in the next room. "Your attitude and character are truly awful. And what's with that outfit? Are you here to play? This outfit? It's in fashion. Thinking that's stylish? Dressing is about matching the occasion. Coming to your husband's house in pajamas?" My straightforward sister harshly scolded her for her lack of common sense. Such a messed up wife in attitude, speech, and dress, and this family has been so patient. Ignore such a failure. We'd go crazy otherwise. Encouraged by my sister, I also spoke harshly. Then my son and his wife began a heated argument. It's your fault for criticizing mom's cooking. Blame these demon bitches, not me. It's your attitude that's the problem. Learn some manners. Their argument escalated. Take your marital spat elsewhere. Come back another day with your thoughts in order, and we'll talk once. My husband's furious look silenced them, and they hurriedly left. Days later, they came back, asking for forgiveness, fearing disownment. My daughter-in-law's behavior is one thing, but you, allowing it, are no better. Seeing you so smitten and foolish over her disgusted me, my husband glared. I've decided. I'd rather divorce than be disowned. My son's shocking words stunned her. What? You said you'd protect me. I thought so, but Mom and Aunt are right. You lack common sense, your dress and speech are terrible. You're making me the villain? Don't you care about me? I'm tired of your behavior. He continued, voice fading. She kept calling my phone, come pick me up. I'm tired from shopping, I need more money. When I turned off my phone, she even called my office. If I said it was impossible, she'd get angry, saying, don't you care about me? You promised to do anything for me. It seems my son finally reached his breaking point after being constantly accused of infidelity. Sharing my number with your wife without consulting me. Consider our feelings, having to indulge her whims. Exactly, what a nuisance. Deal with your own wife. My husband, visibly cold, decided to cut ties with them. After our estrangement, my sister often visited their home. She claimed to be just having tea, but she was actually strictly training my daughter-in-law in manners. The daughter-in-law came to our house, looking like a different person, worn out, to apologize. I'm sorry for everything I've said and done. She offered an envelope with money, including the taxi fares I had paid, and apologized. No matter how much you apologize, I cannot forgive you. As I coldly dismissed her, she was visibly disheartened. My son and she continued to live separately, with divorce discussions looming. Unable to contact her own mother and with no place or funds to move out, she seemed to realize the trouble she had caused, but it was too late. After the tumultuous days with them, my husband and I returned to our peaceful lives, enjoying our hobbies. Hoping for a new daughter-in-law for our son, to our surprise, he actively started looking and quickly found a suitable match. He's loved for his slightly shy, tolerant, and kind nature. I once regretted these traits, but now I see our parenting was right. I'm going to my culture class. All right. I'm off to fish. On the way back from our respective hobbies, it seems my husband will come to pick me up in the car. It appears that our son has indeed inherited his father's kind nature.